Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here. It is Saturday the 11th of May. Thanks again for watching weatherweb.net. Remember that the sites get free of charge by the adverts that you see around the screen here. It's by you coming back and using the site and using the adverts and also the chart. That's what generates revenue for us, and it means that we can keep the site free of charge. So thank you for continuing to support us. Now, it's an unsettled week ahead. This is total rainfall for the week ahead for the UK. I think it's overdone a little bit, particularly down here in the southeast, where we've got 40 to 80 or even more than that millimetres of rain predicted. This is right at the end of the forecast period, and I do think this will change. I'm not convinced by those amounts of rainfall. I think typically, though, many parts of England and Wales up for 25 to 40 millimetres of rain. You can see, though, by the patchy nature of the rain, look, less here and less in here too. This really telling the forecast story for the coming week that low pressure is going to be in control. There are going to be periods of rain, but more than likely they're going to be quite showery, and we could get some localised downpours. Some places could see significant totals of rain, other places not quite so much. So it's an unsettled, changeable period of weather ahead during the coming week. But the news today is that the weather wolf has been sniffing out troughs again, and he can spot one developing across Europe. You'll know if you've been watching over the last few days, we've been talking about a trough developing across Europe towards the end of May, and the weather wolf has spotted it once again. And here it is. This is the ECMWF chart on the left of the screen here, the GFS on the right. This is the 7 to 10 day mean of the 500 millibar height anomalies, and this runs from next Saturday through to Tuesday the 21st, and what it shows is both charts, look, have got a trough here across Europe. Now notice that the ECMWF has the trough significantly further east than the GFS. Where it is going to be critical as to the weather that the UK and Ireland experience. If it's further east, as suggested by the ECMWF, then we can probably say that many parts of the UK will be dry, but there'll probably be some showers or some outbreaks of rain for more eastern areas. If it's further west, as indicated by the GFS, then it indicates that the British Isles probably will be more likely to see some pretty hefty showers and some heavy periods of rain. So really focusing on where that trough is going to be be critical to the weather that we experience over the coming days. Now, if we just pick up on the GFS charts for London, this is the temperature and rainfall. You'll notice that what it tends to do is keep temperatures fairly steady through the coming week, and then it lifts them slowly as we get into this final third of the month. It's got rainfall in there too, indicating unsettled conditions, and it continues to keep fairly unsettled conditions, look, across the country through to the end of May, although these tend to be fairly showery. Similar for Glasgow, and similar for Birmingham too. So the GFS ensemble trying to go with this idea of wetter for now, but then turning more showery later with temperatures slowly increasing. The latest MGO has become available as well, and what's interesting from this is from the ECMWF, and this is valid up to the 10th of June, and what it shows, look, is going through phase 4. It kind of hints getting to phase 5, and it pulls it back sharply. Now, what this is indicative of is a trough going more into central parts of Europe, high pressure building up towards the north of the UK, and more of a northeasterly flow developing. What that would hint at is some rain across the southeast and across the far south of the UK, but more central and northern and western areas tending to stay drier. So with that in mind, remember this chart? This is the chart that I showed you at the beginning of the week. This was the mean of the nearest 5 years to the present year. It was the mean of the pressure of those nearest 5 years, running from the 17th of May through to the end of the month. And what these showed was the trough down over central parts of Europe, a ridge up towards the north of the UK or over Scandinavia, and this east or northeasterly flow. So this seems as if this is the pattern we're going to get into, where low pressure goes down across Central Europe for the end of the month, and we get this northeast flow. So I think we're still going to pitch for southeast England, southern parts of England going into the wetter conditions, central and northern areas tending to be drier, but tending to be on the cool side as well with that northeast flow. And interesting to see how the CFS picks up on that as well, because look, it tends to keep temperatures fairly flat through until around the 27th, 28th of the month, and then it's picking them up sharply, as indeed it was yesterday. So that's hinting that the high may well try and drift south during that period of the very end of May into the early part of June. Temperatures then falling off quite sharply, but then lifting again into the middle of the month. These all indicating that the high here comes in across the country during that period in the early part of June. Then it retreats away down to the south during this period into the middle part of June, but then it comes back in again by the end of the month. So I think we're going to stay with this idea of the emphasis on the drier weather, but the high just kind of shifting around a little bit. And again, I think it's going to be the south and the southeast that's most at risk of rain. But certainly these peaks of temperature hinting that we should see some warmer interludes, not like last year. So hopefully that's been useful for you. Thanks again for watching. Just a reminder, we kept free of charge by the adverts you see around the screen. It's by you coming back and using the site. That's what keeps us free of charge, so thanks for doing that. So whatever you're doing, have a great day and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.